Beta 250 RR. This is the non-race edition. And we are in the sun mode right now. So the first thing that I noticed immediately after getting out the X Trainer is that there's a lot less vibration on the 250. And I'm just gonna chug up this hill and check the luggability. Oh, this lugs are nice. A lot of traction. Doesn't have that. And I was in third gear, second gear. And it's really, really muddy and it's clay here, so let's try third gear luggability. Oh, this is good. So I immediately like this better than the X Trainer. It fits me better. Less vibration. The chassis feels really planted. I don't like the suspension as much as I'd say the Explorer. This is the Sax or ZF. This is not the KYB. This is not the race edition. But it is it's decent. I think I like the Explorer better. This still feels, they got it a lot better than they used to, but it still feels kind of rough. Like the Explorer is just this like magic carpet ride over all the small chop. Here you still feel all of it, which in a long ride or a long race is just exhausting. But I do like how balanced this chassis feels. It just feels really planted. And that is really nice. I'm just going to change it to rain mode here. And also check the ground clearance. So I can flat foot on this bike no problem. So it's probably at least a full inch lower than my gas, and probably a little bit more than an inch lower than a KTM. I'm 5'11" and I can flat foot this no problem with a slight bend in my knee, sitting in the center of the seat. So from that perspective, could be an advantage. So the rain map actually feels pretty nice. It makes it feel almost a little bit more like a 300. So there's a little bit more chugging, and I really like the Beta brakes. These are Nissan brakes, and for this, they're not as aggressive as the KTM, especially up front, but it's a little bit more aggressive than the Bractec, and I feel like they hit that sweet spot for really technical riding, where you don't want that initial lockup, and you can really modulate them well. And I feel like even the rear brake is really nice to modulate. So I'm actually really liking this. I wish they would figure out the counterbalancing thing like KTM did, because this is nowhere near as smooth as KTM, especially at revs. And I'm just kind of playing around here. But my God, this thing tractors so well. This is really, really good. I don't know if it's the tires that they've got on here or what it is, but it just makes this mud feel like it doesn't exist. The 250 power-wise feels really nice. It almost feels like a TPI 300. It's pretty smooth off the bottom. It doesn't have that big hit, but it's got enough go. Like it'd be interesting to try it on something really, really steep, which they have here at Brushy, but they probably don't want me riding this bike there with, you know, no hand guards and pipe all exposed. Yeah, counterbalancing is something they need to solve on these bikes, because the engine is great except for the vibration. It is perfect except for the vibration, which is pretty annoying. The brakes are amazing. Again, really like that. Chassis feel, 5'11" to 180 pounds. I feel like this bike fits me very well. I've always felt that about Betas. This is much more comfortable for me than the Cross Trainer. I think the suspension is pretty good. The rear is really nice. The forks have a little bit of a harshness to them that I don't really like. And when you start going faster, you don't really feel it, but at slow speeds, you definitely feel it. Yeah, this is pretty light. I'd say it's comparable to a KTM. I can't really tell the difference. In an awkward position like this, this is where the lower seat height's nice. Gear am I in here? It's third gear. Yeah, this 250 power-wise feels pretty comparable to a KTM 300, I would say, like a TPI 300. Yeah, I really like the Beta chassis and the Beta feel in general. If I could have a Beta chassis with the KTM forks and the KTM engine, that would be my perfect motorcycle. Again, like that small chop going down that little hill, feel a lot of harshness in the forks. This kind of stuff eats it up, lots of traction. Generally, it feels very predictable. Front end goes exactly where you pointed, even in this mud. Very confidence-inspiring bike to ride. Sit down here, see how it's sitting down. See, I don't know if they made it softer. Feels decent. But this is where you really start feeling all the bumps. The suspension feels, yeah, this is not in the same league as the Explorer. If you're looking for ultimate comfort, this bike is not it. The KTMs have the suspension much more dialed. This just is very, it's harsh. That's the best way I can describe it. It's just harsh. Feels good when you start going a little faster, but at like the really low, you're just kind of puttering through the trail. It does not feel good. Even at like this speed. Oh, I just bottomed out the forks, so bottoming resistance is also not great. About the same as on the Explorer. So yeah, if I had to say the highlights of this bike for me are the ability to put down traction, the comfort and the predictability of the chassis. The brakes are awesome. The engine characteristics, like the smoothness of the power and the predictability of the power are awesome. This is the way it lugs is amazing. Again, this is a 250. It lugs like a TPI 300 and just tractors up stuff. The gearing is really good. I feel like it's kind of spot on for this technical stuff. It's not too narrow, it's not too wide. You don't feel like you're between gears. I assume these are stock gearing. So those are the things that I like. The looks, obviously, I love the Beta looks. Bike feels light, feels pretty narrow, easy to move around on. Ergonomics are great, probably my favorite out of all the bikes, the Beta Ergos. I like the bars, I like where the controls are, the levers are comfortable, instantly comfortable bike to ride. And I feel like I can ride it well instantly. What I don't like that it's carbureted. I don't like the counterbalancing is not nearly as good as the KTM. And there's a lot more vibration. I don't like the seat, and I don't really like the suspension. The suspension is too harsh on the small stuff, while not really actually being that supportive on the big stuff.